Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I'm in the middle of my Omen movie reviews in this box set from Scream Factory, Shout Factory, whatever their title of their company is called for the horror division. Anyway, really enjoyed the first three movies, had a blast with them, and I've been kind of nervous about this particular entry. And this is the 1991 fourth film in the sequel called The Omen 4: The Awakening. Now, the reason I was nervous is because obviously this is a girl instead of Damien. And after the events of Part 3 that took place 10 years before this movie came out, that was 81, this came out in 1991, and it feels like a lifetime film from the quality of the filmmaking to the kind of story, script, whatever. Omen 4: The Awakening, I have a lot of things to say about. Number one, this is probably the worst movie in the franchise. I'm currently watching the remake, and oh boy. So Omen 4: The Awakening. I don't really know where to start with this. First and foremost, I loved the original movie. I think it's a masterpiece. After I saw it for the first time just the other week when I was reviewing these for you guys, and sorry it took so long to get to this review, by the way. I've been busy so much this week with book reviews and stuff on my other channel. My wife and I took care of my niece and nephew yesterday a little bit. It's been kind of a busy week in general, but today's my last day of work, and then I'm off for a 3-day weekend for Easter, thank God. So, anyway. Omen 4: The Awakening is a bit of a movie. It was something that was very hard for me to sit through in one go. It's not very beloved by the Omen fans or really remembered by anybody. This little TV movie sucks. It is the worst of the series. It is not the most unwatchable movie I've ever seen in my life, nor is it very engaging. Now, Part 3, The Final Conflict, kind of got away from the slasher mentality of the first two films. It was more of a drama centering around Damien the Antichrist. This movie is like a New Ager remake slash going back to the roots slasher movie, like the original couple of films. And when I say New Ager version of the Omen, basically there's... Okay, I guess I'll kind of rewind a little bit. Essentially, the Christian influence, the Book of Revelation influence on this series that was kind of the conception of the original three movies, and kind of Part 3 kind of deviated away from that in some ways, but it still maintained it mostly in a secular scope in a kind of a cool way that was creative to watch, and I really enjoyed it for the most part. I'm surprised more people don't talk about The Final Conflict. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it had a lot to offer. Anyway, Omen 4: The Awakening is kind of a straight-out New Ager remake of the original film, despite it being called Omen 4. If you watch the movie, this is a spoiler-free review, but if you watch it, by the end of it, you'll understand why it's called Omen 4. And that was an okay idea in concept, but not really. Not in execution, not in lifetime movie-making execution or anything like that. Omen 4: The Awakening basically is the same concept, and even sometimes the same moments of the original movie in a lot of ways. Basically, there is a couple, a married couple who can't have kids, and they adopt a beautiful little girl that they named Delia. Why would you call your kid Delia? If there's any elderly women watching my channel named Delia, I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult you, but Delia, I don't think I've ever met a woman named Delia. I don't know if that's supposed to be some weird Greek thing that people put into this as, I don't know, their own omen of some reference. I don't know. I don't really care either, but I'm not a fan. I'm not impressed, to be honest with you. Omen 4: The Awakening basically is about this little girl being the new Antichrist, which is very bizarre. Again, as a Christian, I look at this as goofy nonsense, but I think even in a secular scope, you would look at this as goofy nonsense after what happened with Damien and whatever in the previous three movies. But again, the movie explains itself more later on as to why it's called Omen 4, and I don't hate that idea. It's the execution of the entire movie, the sloppiness and the writing. The directing is fairly okay. The acting is mild at best. They don't really have much to work with in the script, to be honest with you, and it basically being a New Ager remake of the original movie makes it even more clunky for them to try to work through and make more fantastic performances. The mom in the film I really liked, and even the little girl, she reminded me a lot of Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 4 and 5. I thought that she had a very Danielle Harris look and kind of mentality to her, the way she would act in this. She wasn't bad at all. Everybody was pretty okay for what they were trying to do, and I swear to God, the one guy in this looks like the cop from When a Stranger Calls 1 and 2 from back in the day. So I don't know. It may be him, it may not be him. I didn't take the time or the care to even look at IMDb to find out, but I don't think it's him. Just kind of resembles that guy. Doppelganger. So anyway, the reason I keep referencing this as a New Ager movie is because we have like a nanny at one point in this film that's supposed to take care of Delia. And she is very much into New Age stuff. She has a crystal she hangs around her neck for healing and stuff like that. And as the movie goes on, the crystal turns black. And then other crystals that she has like in her bedroom drawer turn black. She takes Delia to a New Age fair where you can buy crystals and get a photo taken of you with a camera that's supposed to pick up on what your aura looks like. What the fuck are you talking about? Weird shit, man. Again, New Age remake of the original Omen. You can like it, you can hate it, but I don't think most people are going to like this because of the execution of the film. Not a bad idea to continue a franchise, or even if you're going to make a straight-out remake and make this the first entry of that, that's not a horrible idea. But you can't really find the Antichrist being applicable to like a New Age community. It just can't really happen. Those people are so weird, they don't even believe in like, you know, evil and shit. So, I don't know. Make of it what you will. This movie was bizarre. It was kind of watchable because of how bad it was. It's kind of a so bad it's good type of movie, but not in a great way, to be honest with you. Like, I would never rewatch this again, probably, but if I had to have a gun put at my face and told me I had to sit through the Omen films again, I would not cry about having to sit through this again. I would kind of just roll my eyes and giggle a little bit, despite there being a pistol in my face. But it's not completely a loss of your time. It's just a horrible entry in this franchise. And easily, from what I've seen out of watching all of these back-to-back, basically, this is the worst of the series. Easily, in my opinion. Despite the basic rehashing completely, almost beat for beat, of the remake that's in the original movie. The remake is not great from what I'm seeing of it so far, but I'll review that next, obviously. Probably today, maybe tomorrow. Omen 4: The Awakening is, it doesn't know what it's trying to be. It just doesn't. It's so sloppy, and by the end of it, the kind of, I wouldn't call it a twist, but kind of the revelations by the end of the movie, no. I'm not digging it. Also, being a TV movie, there's no gore, there's no harshness like that, no crazy violent cursing or anything like that, not like it was in the previous movies, but there was no real way to depict sinister nature to it, despite it kind of being a slasher, but it's a Lifetime type of slasher. Like I said, it has a competent budget behind it, competent directing in a very TV way, but it wasn't great, man. It's very forgettable. I will probably forget over and over again that this exists. I guarantee my brain is going to think there's a 1, 2, and a 3, and then a remake, and then the new one, because the new one's the newest one. And I'll probably see it in theaters, like I said, next week. So I think that's probably my problem here, that this movie's going to be so forgettable that I'm going to forget about it, despite owning it in this box set. I'm so glad I bought this box set. This movie franchise has been mostly good until this movie. And I'm surprised by how much I loved the first 3 films, but this one is, it's unforgettable, but it is at the same time. Like, it's so embarrassingly bad sometimes and so crappy in its editing and whatever that it is bad. But, like, I want to forget it, but I also don't want to because of some of the embarrassing laugh-out-loud shit that I had in my brain and had happen to me as I watched some of this. Some moments are so goofy and silly in this film, dude. I don't know how to explain it otherwise, but I recommend it based on that alone. If you're looking for a so bad it's good type of movie, this might be a good one for you to watch this weekend, but I would recommend seeing the first 3 first because they're so much better and you would understand what to hold this up to in standard, you know? Let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Again, there's no gore. There's not really anything like that. So there's not super complex kills or anything, so therefore there's no real practical effects to talk about. Not really any CGI either. You know, it's very straightforward, and I appreciate that they didn't just dump CGI into this. They didn't really do that with TV movies back in the day when I was a kid or even before I was born, because this came out a few years before I was born. And I like when I watch TV movies and they don't have a dump of CGI in them. Like The Langoliers from Stephen King, fucking horrible, man. I haven't seen that since the one time I watched it on TV. Embarrassing CGI. Stuff that they couldn't show, made no sense at all. It was trash, man. Trash, dude. Tommyknockers had a lot of that as well. Anyway, the music in this movie had a mixture of music from the previous films that were more iconic, obviously, mixed with some TV movie type of crap in here. And I did not like that. And it was a weird mix. The classic music, obviously, from the Omen franchise really made this work sometimes in better moments. But it had a lot of misses in there. I do have one thing to bring up, too. There's a lot of clowns in this movie. If clowns creep you out, I don't know how you're going to feel about it. There was one particular scene involving a decapitation, which that particular scene was pretty rad, even though you didn't get to see anything. But the reference of the decapitation happening was that Delia sees a dodgeball rolling towards her on the ground that has a clown's face printed on it. I thought that was hilarious. That's a great example of it being so bad it's good sometimes. And again, her performance, the girl playing Delia. Who is Dulia? The girl playing Delia, she was kind of fun because she had that Danielle Harris kind of mentality to her. This movie has some things going for it, but so much is fumbled throughout the process that it's just not good. It's just not. I'm sorry, but it's a mess and kind of a piece of shit. But again, a so bad it's good piece of shit sometimes. Not in a great positive, recommend it to everybody type of way. Not like a Troll 2 way or something like that. But this is over the top, but not in a good way. This is not an Omen movie. It should not have been an Omen movie. It should have been its own thing or a straight-out remake. I think if this had been a remake, like the beginning of that, yeah, a lot of people would have hated it because you've replaced Damien, but I think it would have been a better idea to go this route. Instead of the weird ending that they have for this and some of the explanations and revelations, like I said. Anyway, Omen 4, The Awakening from 1991. If I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I'd probably give the movie about maybe a 2 out of 5 stars. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, obviously. It's easily the worst of this series, but as disappointing as it was, I went into it from the cover alone with how bland this cover is. Not even just from the female Damien thing, which isn't the twist I talked about, by the way, but just taking the Antichrist, making him a girl and shit was a little weird to me going into this movie, but that's not what made me not like it. It was the poster. It was the lack of care for the poster of this movie that made me say, oh, that's probably going to be a bad movie. Not even the IMDb ratings, which were super low too, but they averaged out to about what I just gave it, at a 2 out of 5 stars. Anyway, Omen 4, The Awakening. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I think most people are going to say they hated this, but again, it's got that nice little flair of goofiness that makes it kind of watchable sometimes. I'd love to hear everything you have to say about this and the rest of the Omen movies, and like I said, right now I'm almost done with the Omen remake, so I'll probably have a review for this either today or tomorrow. I'll also have a movie haul video coming up in the next couple of days too, depending on what I find on Friday. I might not find anything, so I might just go ahead and make the video on what I have right now. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. So, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. I appreciate you for being here. And, yeah, hopefully the first Omen will be a good movie, too, whenever I can review that. And then I'll rank these movies from worst to best. So, anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. Check you later. I meant catch you later. God bless you all. Goodbye.